What is up, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be walking through with y'all my little cheat sheet care guide for Crested Gecko hatchlings, just kind of nutrition, environmental stability, if you would like to say, just parameters for them, safety, handling, and all that fun stuff. I'm going to be walking through the enclosures that I use as well, just kind of my weekly routine with them. But make sure you like the video, subscribe, tell me what you want to see next, and let's get right into it. So when it comes to hatchlings at first, they're going to be in a setup like this. So normally, I keep them in this deli cup, and I store them right over there in the coldest part of my room. And pretty much I poke a couple holes through this deli cup and right on top the pairing and date that they went in, Pangea hatch, rinse it out good, wash it out good, and make sure it's damp, not soaked, not drenched, damp. And then I just kind of let them do their thing. And occasionally I'll spot check and make sure that that Pangea hatch is still wet and not completely bone dry. And kind of every once in a while I'll peek, and lo and behold, they'll hatch. And then normally the hatchlings after that, they eat the yolk and everything that comes out of their eggs for that nice bit of protein and a little bit of food. I like to leave them in there for 12 to 24 hours, depending on when the other one hatches. Normally what I do is I put them in this little critter catcher. Once the guy is active, you want to make sure that he's at least active and the yolk is gone. Once that is taken care of, then you spray a little bit of water in there. I slightly, I want to say, because you don't want to handle them crazy amount, knock them out and then put them in here, and this is their enclosure. Normally, what I do is I just make sure that they're both eating and in the bathroom, because with paper towels, it's a great way to see their bowel movements and making sure they're going to the restroom and not having any health issues in regards to that. And yeah, so this is pretty much the standard. So pretty much deli cup for a couple months, this enclosure for a little bit, then I'll separate them once they get to a somewhat size, or if I notice one is bigger than the other after a good while, I also separate there, because you want to make sure there's no tail nipping, no issues with the tail, they can shed properly, getting the proper nutrition, especially when splitting crickets. It's a big ordeal, but we'll get into that a little bit later. But yeah, this is the standard little setup. Look at them, fresh little hatchlings for y'all. A lily white and a cappuccino. That is actually a beautiful cap and a pretty good looking lily white. Wow. I'll zoom in for y'all. Nice. Full pen cap, take that. But yes, anyways, this is the setup. Now let's get into misting. So when it comes to misting, all I pretty much do is daily, twice a day normally, is I spray the sides, and I try to make sure I spray the babies as well. And this was done not too long ago, so it's still drying out. But I don't spray a ton unless I'm going to be gone for the whole day and can't spray later. But normally what I like to do is do 2 mistings throughout the day for these guys, make sure they get enough water, and helps them shed. So that is what I would recommend for these little guys. Definitely in this size as well. You want to make sure that the enclosure is not too big so they can find their food, but give them enough space, especially just to move around, you know, make it exciting for them. I give them a little cork bark, I give them a little fake foliage to hide around, and then I get these insulation tubes for pipes at Home Depot, and they kind of bring it all together. And pretty much once they get up to a certain size, then they go into their somewhat big boy enclosure, which that is one of the second Crested Geckos that I hatched. He's getting up there, and I kind of needed some room, especially for these guys. These are my last hatchlings of the season, so I'm actually gonna make sure I remove this cup because that is not needed anymore. You just wanna, I know I said this, but you wanna make sure that they do eat that yolk sac. Helps nutrition and food. But talking about nutrition, so pretty much what I do for Crested Geckos in general, especially hatchlings, is make sure that they have fresh food every 2 days, give it a break, then the following day I'll give them more fresh food. Rinse and repeat, and then I like to do crickets once a week, at least I want to say once every 2 weeks. The really small ones, you want to make sure that the little crickets, rule of thumb, is smaller than the space in between their heads so they can eat it properly. And the cool thing about them eating crickets for the first time is they fully go into that predator instinct. I know they're not predators, but instinct of chasing after crickets and then hunting them down, and then you just see the jump and get them, and it's really cool to see. Definitely would recommend it. 10 out of 10. And then it definitely helps them grow a ton. I would definitely try to, I keep saying definitely, oh my god, I did it again. I would realistically recommend gut loading them, especially at least the day before, and dusting them with calcium as well to help with that calcium boost. Just make sure there's some nutrients other than the cricket, especially if you're getting it from a generic store like PetSmart. They're not always the best, and sometimes they can die really quickly. So I'm not gonna say I'm a total expert, but a couple things I would like to point out is this method does and has been working for me. So funny enough, this is one of the first geckos, not the first, but one of the first. When I first started in the hobby, I wanna say maybe a little less than 2 years ago, and I got this guy at the same size as the other ones you just saw. Same method, same everything, and look how this beautiful big boy's turned out. So this is Espresso. He is a cappuccino male, and I'm not sure if I'm gonna be using him for breeding or overall keeping, or potentially moving on to a new home. Let me know in the comments, what would you do? So when it comes to overall temperature for these guys, I quite frankly kind of keep it different temps throughout the day and at night. So right now it is 76 degrees in here. I do also have a little mini space heater, sorry for the water bottles, little mini space heater that is remote controlled, and I can monitor the temperature throughout the day. I do keep my door closed so it can stay consistent, and then I turn that on around 7 a.m. It automatically comes on, and then I shut it off at 9 p.m. to get that daylight nighttime temp cycle, and that's been really working for me. And throughout the winter, I actually did have all my eggs here, like I said, and some days it would get down to 65, and some days it would get up to that 75 mark here in Chicago. Chicago weather is all over the place. Anyways, and they did perfectly fine. I did have, I think, 2 of them that did not do well out of the hatch and unfortunately did not make it. And then one of them was deformed straight out of the egg, which I already talked about this, but was awful. And that is one of the worst parts about it. But unfortunately, when you're helping create life and seeing these beautiful guys be born, gotta expect it sometimes. But yeah, definitely, I would say room temperature normally works. 68 to 72 degrees works perfectly fine. Again, I just keep it 75-ish, but it's really 73 with the air conditioning because we keep it at 68 in my apartment. So yeah, that's a little bit. And then any issues I have never really have dealt with so far, knock on something. But yeah, these guys, funny enough, I think I'm gonna be keeping. I'm not too sure. We have 2 fraps, which this one was my first one ever, Han. I'll do another video about these guys. This one's Bengal, so if you guys see on my Instagram, he is that really, really orange hue frap on his back. Love it, looks great. And then this one is Peachy, and he almost has, or she almost is a lily white, and they have almost like a pink hue throughout the whole back. Hopefully one time I'll remember to record this for y'all. But yeah, those are the holdbacks potentially, I want to say. These guys likely will be sold. I'm not too sure about Espresso. It's up to my angel. Then you can see my big old Pleco down in there, big boy. Anyways, Corys are my favorite freshwater fish. But majority of these guys up here are all gonna hopefully be sold. I might be running a few free giveaways where you just have to pay shipping. So let me know if you guys be interested in that. And then I'm also thinking about doing auctions on Morph Market and potentially Palm Street. But definitely with Palm Street, I would want to make sure I'm well more prepared and level for offers. And then as you guys know, sables are in the works. They are about to start breeding and they will be available. Let's see if I can find one. Yeah, look at Ginge. Beautiful, beautiful sable girl. And she is gonna get paired again. Y'all already know, but just in case you're new here, she will be getting paired to Jon Snow. And they will hopefully make stunning, stunning babies. Hello. So anyways, that is a little bit about humidity, moisture, temperatures, nutrition, all that fun stuff. But that's gonna be it for me today, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video and learned something. Thank you for listening to my rambles. I appreciate it. And I just want to shout out, thank you to everyone reaching out on Instagram. I appreciate your kind words, kind comments, and hopefully I can keep it up for y'all. But yeah, this is a little bit what I do with hatchlings, and as you can see, I don't have an extreme amount, but I do have a decent amount, and I'm glad that everything so far is working out. I can't wait for these guys to get some new forever homes. But I also, one of the best things about Crested Geckos is getting them as hatchlings, growing a feel for them, seeing them grow and develop into some beautiful, unreal animals. Thank you guys once again. Make sure you guys let me know in the comments what you want to see next. Subscribe, like, you guys already know. Appreciate you. Peace.